you doing?
How's it going?
The beautification project. Who started it?
Who started it?
Yeah.
Monica Roth and Chris Gardner were the first people who started it. Gosh, it was probably like 16 years ago, maybe 2004?
I would say that it was 2002.
2002.
Yep.
Yeah, and they started working with the tourism board and the Chamber of Commerce.
Do you know where the name beautification comes from?
Community Beautification.
Brigade.
Well, we're the brigade, but the program itself is called Community Beautification.
Okay, so
Yeah, so they always call us the Beautification Brigade, the volunteers that come out and the people working it. So we have, a lot of volunteers through the years. Some people come back quite often. Some people come a couple times a year. We often have groups of students from Cornell or Ithaca College, high school students, churches, other groups that would come help us with a project here and there. And it gives them an opportunity to learn and be part of beautifying Ithaca and the surrounding area. And they also get to learn about plants, which is, a big bonus, especially these days. We all know how much getting back to the land and being part of a community is important.
And what do you do exactly?
We beautify spaces in Ithaca with ourselves and a group of volunteers.
I mean, like water, or do you fertilize, or do you plant?
All those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we start from the beginning. We often have a greenhouse. Up at Cornell, we rent one of their greenhouses for a couple months and grow a lot of annuals up there. This year we weren't able to do that because of the pandemic, so we had to get creative. We plant, we mulch, we weed, we maintain it, we have to water. Some of our sites have faucets, when other ones we have to get these tanks, and the city usually helps us fill them if they can. This year that wasn't able to happen either because of budget cuts and staff cuts and stuff. So this kind neighbor allows us to use their water.
Oh, so you don't have water in there?
We don't have water in there right now. Harold and Sabrina Mills have been great. They've worked out with us that we could use their water if we needed to water. So.
And this is the Rotary, as we like to call it, this particular garden. So the Rotary Club sponsors this one. So we've been working with them to help Harold and Sabrina be, a bit more compensated and looked after while we use their water. So it's been a good collaboration. And then at Rotary, a few of their members come and help us water once a week. So that takes a lot of pressure off of us, so we can focus on other things too. So
this is self-watering system here?
Usually we have irrigation in the ground, and we have a pump that hooks up to a battery in either the truck or the van, and it pumps the water out of the tanks through the irrigation hoses. So that was one of the things we're going to do today, is water here.
You're going to get it. You have to carry it in those buckets?
No, we're going to take a hose and run it across the road.
Yep. So it takes a little setup.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't let me stop you.
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. You get the hose.
You can pass it through the fence. I'm gonna come around you this way.
Oh, yeah. Just tell me to move. Go ahead.
I was saying we hold volunteer sessions 2 or 3 times a week, and so volunteers can sign up to come work at a site, whether it's here or on the Commons or out near Purity. We have various sites all over the city, and up on Dryden Road.
How many volunteers would you say you have?
In total, we have a lot, like a couple hundred on our list maybe. But you know, we have people that come, like I said, sometimes twice a year. Some people come every week. Sometimes we have groups of people that want to sign up, whether it's a fraternity or a group from one of the colleges and university, or maybe we've had different work groups want to come. Almost as like a team building and a community effort. I didn't really get down here. So I mean, basically, Monica Roth, she saw the need for it through the city of trying to beautify and work on gardens and plantings. And be able to make it educational too for community members to come volunteer and learn. And there's all aspects from like greenhouse work to planting to mulching to deadheading, transplanting.
What's deadheading?
Deadheading is when flowers will die back. It's what Janine's doing. So say once this flower gets brown, you can cut it back and then more will come on. So they call it deadheading. You just take all the dead stuff out to, you know, keep the plant fresh and yeah, just looking pretty. It encourages more flowering.
So there's some plants that need more pruning than others?
Yes. This is an example. Daylilies, they bloom. Each flower blooms for one day. And after they bloom, the leaves sort of die back. So we just try to clean it up a little bit. Take out the dead stalks. And more leaves will come. And the more you do this, the prettier it looks, basically. Okay. You know, here, we try not to get bogged down in the details because mostly people are just driving by. And it's just nice to see the color.
Yeah,
so if we have time, we spend more time at it.
Okay.
But a lot of times we're spread a little thin, so we might do just what's necessary, and then other days we'll spend more time other places.
So when does your season begin and end?
Well, it sort of depends on the weather, but Eileen and I generally start early in April, and we start with, normally we would start with a big greenhouse session where we pot up all of our bulbs that we have. One of the things that we grow a lot of are canna, which you can see on the Commons. Those are what are in those containers, the big colorful ones. And there's some here too, down that way. So we normally start with a group of volunteers and have a big session in the greenhouse where we put all those roots in pots and then they start to grow. This year we were not able to do that because of COVID. So we did the best we could and we started them a little bit later outside, and it's taken them a while, but they have finally come along and things are starting to bloom. And usually the season ends, it can go through November, sometimes into December, depending on the weather.
So at the end of the season, what do you do?
What we do at most of the sites is do a cut down of the perennials and the annuals that have mostly died back by that time. And we try to get things mulched and just tidied up for the winter. On the Commons, we have to dig out all the containers. And then later on in October and November, we start to decorate the planters on the Commons with greens.
Put the pansies in first.
Oh yeah, we put the pansies in first.
We have 4 plantings.
4 plantings.
Yeah. Well, I guess on the Commons we do 4 plantings. So we do the pansies in the spring and then the summer flowers. Then we do the fall planting of more pansies and kale, and then we go into the greens.
What's in the Commons now is the big summer stuff. You know, colorful annuals and canna. And then in a few weeks we'll start to dig those out and plant flowering kale and some frost hardy pansies. And then when those start to die away, the planters get decorated for the winter months with seasonal branches and sticks and plants with berries. They basically sit in the planters until we start again in April.
Okay, is there something else I should know?
Is there something else you should know? What do we want them to know?
We have a lot of support from the community. People honk and wave, people come talk to us, ask us questions. Sometimes people just come and want to help volunteer for that 15 minutes because they are excited. We try to add some food into different plantings occasionally. We put kale on the commons and in some of the business planters around town. We do a business planting, so we work with some businesses. We provide plants and they provide the pots and the soil to try to keep spreading the beautification part throughout the city. I think our big goal is to try to reach outside the city a bit, to try to get out on the outside of the limits in different communities. So that just comes with more resources and more help. So we're trying to work in that and focus on that. Because I feel like the downtown, people are starting to notice, all the nice plantings. So we really owe a lot to our volunteers who come. They put in a lot of hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours each year. So without them, we couldn't accomplish most of what we do.
Do you have found a lot of debris in there?
Yeah, it depends on the place, but typically we will find a lot of trash in some of the gardens, and we just pick that up and move on. We try to monitor for that, but it takes a village, I guess. We have our volunteers. We've got the plantings on the commons are also partly cared for by the Downtown Ithaca Alliance, so we really appreciate their help.
And there's a lot of collaboration. Like, we work alongside with Jean Grace, the city forester, and a lot of her team. So they really help us occasionally delivering mulch, just helping us with water. We collaborate on different areas to just try to see if we can get it to happen, keep maintaining spots. And then the Downtown Ithaca Alliance, we work really closely with them too. They water on the commons and behind City Hall, the tourism board. That's where we get our funding, is through the tourism board. So the hotel there's a room tax. So we get part of that funding. So that's where our funding comes from. We're trying to, once again, be a little bit more creative to see if we can get other funding, just because things have been tough this year. We were really impacted a lot because the tourism was down, and but the Chamber of Commerce and the Tourism Board really seem to value us and want us to work, and there's about over 30 sites,
I would say,
that we take care of, or at least we try to take care of, that we're a part of. So there's a lot that goes into it, and so it's fun. We're lucky, really.
We do the best we can.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Jordan.
I'll be in touch.
Okay. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for coming by and stuff. So.